Hi book lovers, it's Jenny at Julia Baby Jen, and this is my Tome Topple Readathon TBR.
Just like the wide-winged dove sings a song, sounds like she's singing. Ooh, ooh.
Okay, so when I set up my November TBR a few weeks ago, I didn't know about the Tome Topple Readathon, and of course I want to do this readathon. It's all about reading big books, which is one of my things. So I was very excited about it. And also I have a ton of really large books on my TBR right now that I'm behind on. So I thought this would be a great readathon to do to get me sort of caught up. So I'm very excited to do the Tome Topple Readathon. Basically it starts November 18th, runs through December 1st, it's 2 weeks. I will leave the links below if you'd like to find out more and join in. It's mostly done on BookTube, but there's a Goodreads group. And of course it's on Twitter and Instagram and everything else as well. I believe the hashtag is Tome Topple. And there's several hosts, and yeah, it looks like lots of fun, and I'm excited for it. Basically, the idea is to read as many tomes as you can read. Tome is considered a book over 500 pages. So there are different challenges with it. I think there's 5 challenges that you can participate if you want to, but you don't have to. I will not be doing all of the challenges, but I think I'll be doing a few of them. The challenge is really quick, just run through them, I believe, if I can remember off the top of my head. The first one is to read more than 1 tome, so more than 1 book. The second is to read a graphic novel. The third is to read a tome that is part of a series, and all the books I have are part of series, so that one will be easy. And then read an adult novel. None of the ones I picked are adult novels, so I won't be doing that one just because I'm sure I could find one. I have plenty on my shelves, but these are the books I really wanted to stick to, so I'm not going to do the adult one, and I'm not going to do the graphic novel. The last one is buddy read a tome with someone. And I have actually a book that I'll probably be buddy reading, as well as they do have discussion threads on the Goodreads group of some of the more popular books that people are picking. And one of those books that I'm reading is on one of those discussions. If you join those discussion threads, that's considered buddy reading as well. So I will probably get that with 2 different books. So that's wonderful. I'm having issues here. I've got so many big books stacked everywhere. Alright, so this kind of throws off my original plan for my November, but not too much, luckily, because a lot of the books that I wanted to read in November are larger. So this works out really well for me. So first of all, I am right now rereading 6 of Crows, and that does not count because it's not quite 500 pages. I think it's 460 or something like that. So I'm reading it right before the readathon, so then when the readathon starts, I can start Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is the sequel to 6 of Crows. This is a duology, so this is also the final book in the series. So this does the series challenge. All my books will do the series challenge. This is over 500 pages, and this is actually one of the discussion threads that this is a book a lot of people were picking. So this will be one of the ones I buddy read as well. So I'm excited. I love 6 of Crows so much, and I'm excited to read this. It is a fantasy, YA fantasy. It's basically about a heist. It's about a group of 6 misfits in this really dark world where basically it's surviving on the streets and survival of the fittest. So it's basically 6 people who actually are not really good people. They're not evil, but they're not good people, and they are trying to pull off this heist, this incredible heist, and it's just amazing. And I mean, the characters don't really get along either. They've kind of all been pulled together by the head guy, Kaz, who is got them all teamed up. He says they can pull off this impossible heist, the 6 of them, because of what they're good at. And so that's basically 6 of Crows, and it's really awesome. I can't describe it. It's just so good, and it's just so fun. So I'm very excited to read this because it left with a pretty big cliffhanger. So after I get my reread done, it will be good to move on to this. Then my other big plan for November was to catch up my Rick Riordan reading, and 3 of my books that I wanted to read are over 500 pages. So I've thrown these in my TBR pile as well. So I have The Mark of Athena by Riordan. This is the third book in the Heroes of Olympus series, and I really want to finish this series. And then I've got House of Hades, which is the fourth book, and The Blood of Olympus, which is the fifth and final book in the series. So that worked out really well because these were already on my TBR for November. So they will go into my TBR for the readathon as well. Another one that's been on my TBR for a little while that I haven't gotten to for forever, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I would like to reread this. I started rereading the whole series last year about this time, I think. And I sped right through the first like 5 books. And I waited a while and did the 6th book, and I haven't done the 7th book yet, and it's been a really long time. So I'm excited. I'm ready. I want to read Deathly Hallows. This is my favorite book of this series. I just keep getting caught up in other things, but this is definitely over 500 pages, so this will be a fun one to add to the list. Another one I have is The School of Ever After, The School for Good and Evil, The Last Ever After. This is the third and final book in the series, and this is well over 500 pages. The only book I think in the trilogy that is, and I'm really excited to read this. This was actually on a suggestion, because they have a big suggestion reading list on Goodreads of different books that are over 500 pages, and this was on there. I was like, oh, I just bought that book not long ago, and I do want to read it, so I'm throwing this on my pile as well. I'm very excited. This is an MG series about, it's fantasy, sort of fairy tale retelling type of story. It's about this school for good and evil. One side of the school is they teach kids who are good, and then the other side is they teach kids who are evil. So basically they're taught how to grow up and carry on the fairy tales in their fairy tale world. So they're, taught how to be princes and kings or knights or evil witches and wizards and stuff like that. So it's really fun. It's about 2 girls who are best friends, and it's really a story about friendship, the whole thing. So it's really interesting. I really like this series. Then I have Riordan by Christopher Paolini. This is the third book in the Riordan series, which is a fantasy about dragons and elves and dwarves and all kinds of fun stuff. I love, love, love this series. I've read the first 2, and I have not read the last 2. I keep meaning to. I've had them since they released, both of these, Riordan and Inheritance is the last one. And I've reread Riordan probably 5 or 6 times now. I've reread Eldest a couple of times. So, I threw this on there. I don't know if I'll get to this one, but I really hope I do, because I really do want to finish this series. I do love it. It's really fun. It's just one of those books that just takes a time commitment to do it. It's not a quick read, but it's definitely well over 500 pages. I don't even know how many pages this one is. Yeah, it's like 750 pages, so well over that. I didn't add Inheritance to this because I know I won't get to that. And then finally, I have 2 books here that I wanted to read in September and didn't, and they are both way over 500 pages. I have Empire of Storms by J Maas. So yeah, I would like to get caught up on my Throne of Glass. I finally read the 4th book, and now I'm ready to read the 5th book, and this is like 800 and something pages, so I'm hoping I get to it. And then the last book I have for my list is A Court of Mist and Fury, also by J Maas. This is the 2nd book in the, what's the name of this? Is it called the Court of Thorns and Rose series, I think? I don't remember what the name of the series is, but this one is about fairies. And it's really, really awesome fantasy, and this is the 2nd book, and I'm excited to read it. So, that is my list. I think, one more. I threw one more on there last minute. Replica by Lauren Oliver. This one, I don't know anything about it except that it's the same story told from 2 different perspectives. And if you read it from this way, it is this is Lyra's version. But if you flip it over, you get Gemma's version. So, and I've heard you can read like chapter by chapter, or you can just read each one. It doesn't matter which way you go. So, I don't know which way I'm going to read this yet. I will find out. But the reason I threw this on here, this is also for over 500 pages, but my friend Karen wanted to buddy read this with me, and she wants to read it fairly soon, I think. So it'll probably fall during the readathon sometime that we start this. I don't know if we'll finish it before the readathon's over. It depends on when we start, I guess. But I went ahead and just threw it on my TBR because I'm like, oh, and that'll count as a buddy read. So that'll be fun. So I really honestly don't know much about this except that it's sci-fi. That's all I know about it. And I don't want to know a lot about it. I like going into books not knowing too much. So I think that gave me a total of 10 books. Yeah, 10 books. My goal, I know I'm not gonna probably read all these. I mean, some of these books are freaking huge. To read in 2 weeks, I don't think I can read that fast. Or that much, because I've got too much other things going on. But my goal is I would like to read 7 of these 10 books, finish them before the readathon is over. So that's my goal. I think that's pretty doable, especially since some of these MG books go pretty quickly. Like the Heroes of Olympics, the Percy Jackson Heroes of Olympus. Those are usually fairly quick reads. I mean, they're pretty fast to fly through, so that'll help too. And the Last Ever After probably won't take me long. And Deathly Hallows probably not either, because I've read it, I don't know, half a dozen times now. So it's just a reread, and I know what's going on. So it probably won't take me too long either. The Sarah J Maas books, Bruce Singer, will probably take a little bit. I have no idea on Replica. And Crooked Kingdom will probably take me a little bit too. Those books, they're just so packed full of information, and it's not quick. You got to pay attention to what you're reading. But that's okay, because I really enjoy reading big books, and it doesn't bother me when I'm reading a big book if it takes me a while to finish it. But I do hope I will finish 7 of these books for the end of the readathon. So, like I said, I'll leave links below if you'd like to join in. Let me know if you're participating and what you're reading. I would love to hear that. And if you want to discuss any books, if you're reading any of the same books of me, I don't mind doing more buddy reads. If anybody wants to read any of these with me, just let me know. Anyway, I'm excited for Friday. It'll be great fun. I hope you all have a good day. I will talk to you later. Bye.
Just like